In this video, we're going to take a look at creating objects directly in our hierarchy view. You don't have to always pull everything that you're going to have in your game straight out of your project view. As a matter of fact, certain things that you create are inherent or native to Unity and won't already exist in your project view. And you're going to just create them here inside the hierarchy view. Now, you could save them out as a prefab later if you so desired. But let's take a look at this. You might have noticed in your hierarchy view, you have a create dropdown, which looks a lot like the one in the project view. But if you click on it, it's containing a lot of different things. We have things like particle systems, we have the various types of lights, we have some primitive shapes like cube, sphere, capsule, and whatnot. We have like audio reverb zones. A lot of different kinds of objects.
Exactly. These objects are derived from an empty game object, but they have different components already attached to them to offer different functionality.
That's right. Now, this menu is actually available somewhere else in the UI. Where can we find it?
We can go up to Game Object and create Other, and we can access the same panel of objects.
That's right. It's just a quick way to access it. Now, I have in the past made the mistake of thinking that you can right-click in here and open up the Create menu from there. That doesn't work in the hierarchy view, but if you were thinking that it does, you're probably just thinking of the project view where you can click, and that does bring up a menu. But that's not available here inside the hierarchy. Now, you can right-click on individual components that are individual game objects in your hierarchy view, and you can do things like copy, paste, duplicate, rename, and delete. But that's all that's going to exist there. Now, let's take just a quick look at actually creating something, just because that's what the video is about. I'm going to create, let's just make a cube. And boom, there we go, a cube right there at the focus of the viewport. And we'll just kind of slide this out of the way, and we could, maybe create, say, a spotlight. So we have a cube and a spotlight. We could take our spotlight and rotate it around and maybe point it at the door of the tent. All kinds of things you can do. And this is where you're going to create those objects that, again, are already inherent to Unity as game objects that already have some components attached.
Right. These are just the basic functionality. Some things are more useful than others. The cubes, spheres, you're probably not going to use very often, but it gives you an idea to throw some stuff in the scene. Lights, very useful. Cameras, again, depending on what you're doing, may or may not be useful. Particle systems, definitely going to get used quite a bit if you're doing a game with a lot of particle effects like we have steam, fire, etc. The GUI text, GUI texture, 3D text, depending on the type of game, if you're using them to create your HUD, you may or may not use. So again, some things are going to be more useful to you than others, but they're all located here to start with.
That's right. If you need them, this is where they are. So I'm going to go ahead and nuke out the cube because we don't need that, and we'll take out the spotlight. And that is a quick rundown of creating objects right here inside the hierarchy view, which is going to wrap up this video. Thanks a lot.